What's up, everybody? This is Steve Sigmiller in upstate New York, bringing you the weekly store training for November 24th, 2014. This is your last holiday season prep training before Black Friday. Black Friday is obviously the biggest day of the year for us, and we need to make sure that we are very prepared. Our teams are ready to go. They're pumped and excited. So this is the weekly store training. We will go over this slide by slide to help you out, get you prepared to give an awesome training to your team. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is a multi-customering role play. So you need one sales rep and 3 customers. Okay. The sales rep is going to try and handle 3 customers at the same time, and we're going to cause a few things to get in your sales rep's way. To show the importance of being prepared to be successful in multi-customering. So the sales rep's not going to totally know what's going on. The customers are. So the customer number 1, they want to know about the plans. They're going to think about adding 2 lines to their account. While they're doing that, customer number 2 is going to come up and they're going to want to buy a car charger real quick, and they're going to want a receipt. Customer number 3 was in earlier in the day and they didn't get their rebate, so they're back in to get their rebate. So here's the kicker. You're actually going to, before everybody comes in, you're going to take the staples out of the stapler. You're going to take the paper out of the printer. You're going to hide your bags, and you're going to hide the rebates. So what's going to happen is when your sales rep's trying to do all of this, they're going to obviously try and staple the receipt and not be able to staple it. They're going to try and print out the receipt for customer number 2, and they're not going to be able to because there's no paper in the printer. Okay. So you're going to need to prep customer number 1, 2, and 3. Make sure they know what's going on, and then set the stage for this. For the rest of the training to go successful, this role play really needs to go well. So make sure you work with your other managers, your DM, to make sure that you have this role play right so the rest of the training goes well. This is a manager only slide. You can delete it when you're presenting. But what you're going to want to do after the role play is take a few minutes to review this. Let's go over the aha moments and see what everybody's learned about the importance of being prepared for Black Friday and the holidays. Okay. The big thing you want to push here is Black Friday is the biggest day of the year. We do about a week's worth of sales on Black Friday. And from Black Friday through the end of the month, we do about 20% of our business for November. So Black Friday and Black Friday weekend is huge for us. And the little things we can do to make our process go more smooth is going to make a big difference in your sales. So here's a couple of pictures and a couple of quotes from Michael Jordan on the importance of being prepared and the fundamentals. The basic fundamentals, again, are being prepared as we can, and the basics of our sales skills, we're still going to need to use those. So here's a few keys to holiday success around preparation. The operations prep, check inventory levels, make sure there's paper in the printer, you have extra toner, you have all the rebates printed out. And the big key with this is when you have a short break in traffic, recheck all of these things. You're going to run out of paper in the printer. You're going to run out of rebates eventually in the day. So when there's a break during the day, make sure that we clean up everything, we wipe down the glass real quick, we get organized, and we restock everything. On the mental prep, this is really important that our team gets plenty of rest during Thanksgiving. Okay, they're going to be working a lot of hours these next 3 days. They need to be fully rested and ready to go. They also need to show up 30 minutes early to their shift. Everybody's going to be out. Traffic's going to be heavy. The mall parking lots are going to be hectic. Getting into BJ's is going to be a little busy. So they need to make sure they get in 30 minutes early. Also on the next slide, there's going to be some other prep that they're going to need to do before they actually start selling. Okay. The next thing they need to do is make sure that they drink lots of coffee, they have 9 Red Bulls, that they're pumped up, ready to go. They rock out to some Metallica on their drive to work, so they are just excited and ready to sell a lot of phones. The next thing we need to know is what's the store goal and what everybody's personal sales goal are for the weekend. You should already have your store goal set. That should be around activations, total units, and pull-through. Now keep in mind, we still need to have a high percentage in our DWP, our Edge, our accessories, our Asurion, but your big focus is going to be on activations, units, and pull-through. They need to know what the promos are. Now you're not going to know those until Black Friday, so that's the other reason why we want everybody getting in 30 minutes early, so they can review our promos, also so they can review what the competition is doing. What is Sprint doing? What's T-Mobile doing? AT&T? And then what are the other places doing that sell Verizon? What's Best Buy doing? Radio Shack, Target, and Walmart. What are they doing? What are their promos? And that's going to take a little bit of time to look up. Some more sales prep. Remember that you can have a bad weekend if you're just expecting walk-up sales. The increase in traffic just increases opportunities, not necessarily increasing the sales that we can close. It's up to us to still close those deals. So here are some examples of what a clerk will do on Black Friday and what a sales rep is going to do on Black Friday. You can have guys that are going to have a terrible Black Friday. They're only going to sell 1 or 2 phones if they're doing these things. If they want to sell 6, 7, 10, 15 phones, these are the things they need to do. Okay? You're going to have Christmas present shoppers. We can post-date activations. Verizon's worry-free guarantee is until January 14th. So if anybody buys a phone on Black Friday to the end of the year, they actually have till January 14th to honor their worry-free guarantee. We're going to have a lot of customers that are going to come in, and they're going to want to know just what the deals are and perhaps comparing those to Best Buy. So again, we need to use our sales skills to be able to close those deals and not let them walk. So spend a couple of minutes on this to compare the two. Make sure that you don't have any reps that are going to be clerks on these days. All right, the next section of what we're going to talk about is the Black Friday multitasking versus multi-customering. These are a couple of snapshots from last week's training, the video in that training. What you're going to want to do is ask what everybody learned from last week's training and spend some time reviewing that. You know, here's just a couple of things. How do you handle 2 customers at the same time? What do you do if a customer comes up and they just want to buy a car charger real quick? And then add 2 or 3 more in your discussion of the things that they've learned. Again, here are some tips and tricks in the notes down here. Here are some multi-customering skills. The most important thing in here is make sure that you and your team are pitching all of our products before we start computer work. If you start selling and ringing customers out at the same time, you're going to create a bottleneck at your computer. And you're going to have your other reps trying to, they're going to be waiting for you as you're trying to sell some phones or ring out things on the computer. And it's just going to create a big lag in trying to get through customers. So make sure that we're selling everything, then we go to computer work. The other thing you can do is invite your customers to continue shopping while you do the computer work. Make sure you grab a driver's license or a credit card to make sure that they do come back. And then you can actually go to another customer, answer a couple of questions for them, and then go back to your computer work. Tell your customers when you tell them to go shopping, it's going to take 30 or 45 minutes. Make sure that you have everything that you need for that. You have the password to their account. You've pitched everything. The last thing you want to do is have that customer come back from shopping and you're not ready just to click accept, have them sign, and hand in the bag with all their equipment in it. The next section is going to be the after computer work. Okay? This is just as important as the beginning and middle of the sale. This is from 2 weeks ago, that training. This is the easy as the 3, 2, 1, making sure that we set up customers' voicemail, set up their email, and we download an app, preferably the Diamond Wireless app, but any app is fine. That we go over the 2 agreements, the Eros customer agreement and the Diamond Wireless customer agreement, and that we have our one simple statement every time. Okay, the purpose of this segment is to reduce the amount of returns, exchanges, call-ins to Verizon, and chargebacks. The last thing you want is a customer that you sold on Black Friday to come back on Saturday when you're still in sales mode and they have some questions, or they don't like their phone, or they don't understand something on their phone. They want to come back and exchange it because you didn't clearly explain something to them the day before. Okay, so here's some details on what you need to do for the 3 phone features. Here's the 2 customer agreements. Again, we need to thoroughly outline and highlight the price plan charges, the installment fees, the contract dates, and that our customer understands all of that. And then highlighting again the Diamond Wireless customer agreement, that we go over the DWP charge details, they know how to make a claim, and that they have the Diamond Wireless customer service phone number. If they need to call into customer service, we want them calling to our customer service, not Verizon's. Okay, and here's our simple statement. We want to thank the customer for their time, their patience in doing business with us. Make sure that if they have any questions, that they have your cell number, the store number, and if they're not available, that they have our customer service number. Okay, and then another reminder that the end of the sale is just as important as the beginning and middle. Here's a wrap up for the whole training. Number 1, we need to be prepared. Number 2 is we need to be a pro at multi-customering. And number 3 is that after the sale is just as important as during the sale. Okay, so this is your moment to really drive home and lasso everything in that you've just talked about. Quiz these guys, ask them some questions about what we've gone over earlier in the training, and make sure that everybody has everything down pat. And then lastly, here are some action items. I've put 2 in here for you. You'll want to list 3 or 4 others that your team comes up with as action plans of the last things you guys need to do to make sure that everything's locked down, ready to go for Black Friday. And that's your training. So I hope you guys all have an awesome Black Friday. You all kill your year-over-year numbers. Everybody makes lots of money. And then most importantly, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, guys.